Hey folks, this is Dan. Thanks for being here. This week I've been thinking about how much of life is really about what we practice. Not what we believe, not what we say we value, but what we actually do, regularly, even unconsciously. I don't mean practice in the performance sense, of course, like training for something. I mean the quiet repetition of small choices, what we return to, what we feed with our attention. And as I was turning this over in my head, I came across a line from the Buddha that felt like the center of it all. He said, "What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create." It's simple, almost deceptively so. It certainly feels trite in the self-help world of today. But if we sit with it, it reshapes the frame, because it asks, what are you becoming through what you practice every day? And when I looked at my own rhythms, honestly, I saw a lot of small, unexamined practices. Checking my phone first thing, filling silence with noise, trying to do 3 things at once, and doing none of them very well. Carrying tension in my shoulders as if it's my job to hold the whole day together. And none of that is bad exactly. It's just automatic, inherited, and certainly unconscious. And that's the part I've been sitting with. The ways our lives are shaped by the practices we don't realize we've adopted. There's this line from Annie Dillard I've always loved. She wrote, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." It's obvious, right? But it's also incredibly clarifying. It means the little things matter. Not just the big turning points. Not just the days that are loud and memorable. Because the texture of our lives, the feel of them, is made in the repetition. And lately I've been trying to shift some of my repetitions, not dramatically, just gently. For instance, I've been setting out a gift table in front of my house. It's nothing fancy. It's a small metal outdoor table with things I've grown or chopped or arranged. Things from the garden, bundles of flowers, some firewood that I split. And sometimes the offerings are modest, only a few herbs in a jar. And sometimes they disappear in a few hours, and sometimes they sit there for days and days and days. But it's become a kind of quiet practice for me, not a grand gesture, not a performance, just something I return to. And it is a tremendously joyous way to start the morning, I must say. And it's taught me something subtle. When I do this often enough, I stop thinking about whether it's worth it or how it's received. The practice itself becomes the purpose. And maybe that's the heart of it. Doing something as a way of becoming something. Not waiting to feel generous or grounded or kind, but doing the act that belongs to that identity until it settles in. I think this is what people like the Buddha or Thich Nhat Hanh or even Marcus Aurelius were pointing to. Each in their own way, of course. That character or presence or clarity doesn't arrive from nowhere. It's cultivated. It's repeated. It's practiced. In The Art of Living, Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Every thought you produce, anything you say, any action you do, it bears your signature." That line always stays with me. It makes the small moments feel weighty. Not in a burdensome way, but in a sacred one. It reminds me that nothing is neutral, that even folding laundry, if done with care, can be an act of presence. So here's my invitation for you and myself. This week, pay attention to what you practice. What are you rehearsing with your time, your tone, your tension? What are you becoming without realizing it? And if you don't like the shape of that becoming, maybe you don't need to overhaul everything. Maybe you just need to change the rhythm of one thing, like a slower breath or a hand on your heart before replying to something. Maybe a small gift left with no expectation, a pause before reacting, because what we practice, we become. And the beauty of practice is this, that it doesn't require perfection, only returning to it. So let's return to something softer, gentler, more true. Not once, but again and again and again, until it's part of us. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. I'll be back in a few days, maybe next week. And until then, I hope your days feel spacious enough to choose the kind of becoming that you would like to inhabit.